I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we get ready for our third weekend of both the Duracell Ultralight Series and Duracell Next Gen Cup Series, but it's the Lite drivers on track here this afternoon as they will be qualifying in preparation for tomorrow afternoon's third race of the season. The drivers will have 15 minutes here to head on the track for group qualifying, as we've got two races so far under our belts. Two different drivers have gone to victory lane for Skylar Taylor's Mazda at Daytona, and last week Cole Coybe picking up his first career Lite Series victory at Manassas. Being told that the timer is beginning, so drivers will be able to start rolling off of pit road here. 29 drivers scheduled to run in this week's race. We had a little bit of an off week last week of all the all-star cars and the Cup Series interlopers taking part. We saw them all at Daytona, and a number of them are back here again this week at Las Vegas, looking for a little bit of extra track time in preparation for the Cup race later on this weekend. Looks like the first driver out is going to be the 27, and that is Colin Grace. Colin Grace, 17th in the standings, lost some points last week, lost some positioning last week, involved in that rather bizarre wreck that took place out of turn 2, involving Chris Dollerton. I'm trying to remember who the other driver was. Eli Bright, I believe, was the other driver. They kind of, I don't know, they hitboxed into each other. It was really, really strange. Never had seen that before at Manassas. Colin Grace looking for still her first top 10 on the season, as in the first two races has an average finishing position of just about 18th place. Just going to pull up behind Roberto Crown Jr. in the 18. As 30.438 is going to be the benchmark lap put down by the first driver to complete a timed lap. And we'll start bringing the ticker up here for you to see the speed scrolling on the top of the screen. 13 minutes left here in this session. Point stands, obviously, with only two races under our belts, still very close. Skylar Taylor with back-to-back top 10s to start out the year. Still your points leader, tied for second place between Kyle Langland and Ralph Mason, who have also started out the season with back-to-back top 10s. They are both 7 points out of the points lead. There's our pole sitter from last week at Manassas, Aubrey Powell, looking to be a two-time pole sitter. Of course, as well, Juan Garcia, the pole sitter at Daytona. So only Garcia and Powell have a chance of being the first repeat pole sitter. Everybody else looking for their first pole here of the season. Mike Tellier in the 17. Now, he was looking good last week. He got up the front numerous times, but there was a point where the lead pack caught some slower drivers. One of them was Brody Kupski, and another of them was Dave Smith. And Mike Tellier was one of a few drivers that ended up getting held up so much they weren't able to mesh back up with the tail end of the lead pack. Tellier did not get a good finishing result, obviously, at the end of the day, and he is still mired down in the point standings, 25th in points. Of course, for those who don't remember, he didn't even get to take the green flag at Daytona for the season opener due to a mechanical failure. So Mike is not only looking for his first finish in the top 10, he's looking for his first finish, I believe, inside of the top 20. As he right now has an average finishing position of 24.5. See, he's able to get a good qualifying lap, as right now Autumn Brooks is top of the board at a 28.954. Cam Wright Jr. He lost a couple of spots in points last week, only 2 though. Dropped to 7th in overall standing, 16 points out of the points lead. Good start to the year for him in his first full-time season in Lights competition. There's Ralph Mason, one of 3 drivers that have started out the season with back-to-back top 10s. Ralph with a 6th place average finishing position in the first 2 races this season, including a top 5 at Daytona. Right now, though, 18th on the board. Should get a good draft lap here, though, being the 4th car in the line, and a 29.125 will shoot him to 11th. There is Juan Garcia, our Daytona pole sitter. 9th in points coming into this one. 17 points out of the points lead. And again, as mentioned, trying to become the first repeat pole sitter on the year. There's your points leader, Skylar Taylor. Right now only 19th on the speed charts. But then again, remember, he qualified dead last at Daytona. Went on to win the race. Skylar Taylor, of course, with that victory. That was his only top 5 so far, but then followed up with a top 10 run last week at Manassas. So he is the points leader as things stand right now. I believe Jordan Anderson was another driver, much like Mike Tellier, that ended up getting broken away from the lead group last week at Manassas. Did not get the run that he was looking for in terms of finishing results. He dropped 3 spots in the standings after last week, 20th in overall points. Still 36 points back. Still early on in the season. He could definitely make up that ground, as a little side-by-side here between Wes McCoy, who is 6th fastest, and Nathan Stapleton, who is right now 3rd fastest on the speed charts. Wes McCoy currently sitting 12th in points, lost 3 spots in the standings after last week. Nathan Stapleton, though, on the uprise as he gained 9 spots in the standings from 15th up to 6th after garnering a top 5 result at Manassas last week. And right now, he is 3rd fastest car on the track behind Sean Galligan, and right now, fastest car on track being Dave Smith in the 15. There is Galligan. Coming to pit road right now. Get a little bit of added adjustments done right there, right side of your screen. You saw also on pit road last week's winner, Cole Coybe. First career win for him after he ran full-time last year in the number 18 car. Here's one of our Cup Series interlopers for the weekend, Anthony McCrory in the Garage 55 All-Star car this week. Anthony will be making his first Lights start tomorrow afternoon. Right now, 27th on the board, though, for the Celsius Live Fit Mazda. Jackson Haywood leaving pit road. Haywood right now 13th in points. He was, I believe, one of 2 drivers last week who did not have their points positioning changed. Skylar Taylor was the other, obviously staying at the top of the board, but Haywood was 13th going in and 13th when he left Manassas. There's one of the drivers that was involved in that weird glitch wreck last week, that being Chris Dollerton. Up until the time that Dollerton had that wreck too, he was at the top of the board in terms of laps led, but the DNF dropped him 5 spots in the standings, and the former Cup Series champion comes into this race 21st in points. He is a good qualifier, though. He's got an average starting position of 5th. Right now, though, 20th on the speed chart, so looking for a little bit of extra speed there as 11th fastest for the 11. That's Reggie Fogelman, Cup Series driver, back behind the wheel here again. Saw Sarah Fogelman make her first start last week, where she ended up finishing in 9th place for her first Lite Series start. Brody Kupski had damage and was off the pace for about the second half of last week's race at Manassas, finished a couple of laps down. Subsequently, he dropped 5 spots and points to 24th in the standings. It was not a good week last week in lights for the Adrenaline Motorsports drivers. Michael Turner. Now, Turner was an interesting one. He kind of was a little bit under the radar in the closing stages of the race, as he ended up netting a top 5 run. And he jumped 8 spots in the point standings up to 14th. So keep an eye on him. He was sneaky fast last week at Manassas. Cody Majorek gained a spot last week in points, up to 11th in overall standings in the number 70. He's 7th on the board right now. So en route for a good qualifying effort. And there's the driver that's still at the top of the board at a 28.769, Dave Smith. He finished a lap down last week, as he was off the pace. Obviously, he dropped in the point standings from 14th to 19th, 33 points out of the points lead, 34 actually, correction, out of the points lead, but en route right now to maybe capture the pole position. And remember, Dave Smith started on the outside of the front row last week to Aubrey Powell. He's got actually an average starting position in the first 2 races of 3rd place. That is the best of any of the drivers outside of Aubrey Powell, who also sits at an average starting position of 3rd in the first 2 races. So looks like this 15 team very good when it comes to qualifying. They just got to translate that over to good finishing results. Kat Batson just ran her fastest lap of the session, but it's only good enough for 24th right now. Kat 22nd in the point standings coming into this race. And Autumn Brooks, who was up at the top of the speed charts in the early going of the session, has now since been relegated down to 10th place. Autumn gained 3 spots in points last week, up to 18th in overall standings. Kyle Langland, one of the 2 drivers, tied for 2nd in overall points with Ralph Mason, 7 points out of the points lead. Jumped up 2 spots in the standings after last week. Back-to-back top 10s to start out the year. Jack Mitchell back behind the wheel of the all-star car out of Adrenaline Motorsports. Jack, of course, in the only start he made so far this season at Daytona. Finished inside of the top 5. Just looking for another solid outing here in this car. Get a little extra track time in preparation for Sunday's race here in the Cup Series. Right now he is 16th on the charts, though, at a 29.052. David Dixon, looks like he's coming to pit road, as is Mitchell. Dixon 17th on the charts right now. David lost 5 spots in points, fell from 3rd down to 8th after a poor performance last week. 4th on the board is Nathan Fogler, as they're getting a little bit of a last-minute adjustment done on his Duracell Toyota. He's heading back out. See if he can find a little bit of extra speed in that machine. Nathan coming into this race currently 23rd in points. Been a struggling start to the year for that driver. Here's your winner from last week, Cole Coybe. Haas Racing captured the pole last week with Aubrey Powell, and then the victory with Cole Coybe. Coybe, his first career win, and I mentioned about this both in Lights and Cup. Early on in the season, you get those wins, you are going to have a huge net gain in the point standings. Well, Cole Coybe jumped from 18th to 5th in the standings, gained 13 spots, and he's only 13 points out of the points lead heading into this week. However, doesn't look like he's going to be starting anywhere close to the front unless something changes in these final little less than 3 minutes, because right now he is 26th on the board of the 29 drivers that have taken time. A couple of drivers we haven't highlighted yet. One of them is the 16 car. There it is. The Young Motorsports All-Star car. We saw Dylan Young behind the wheel of this machine back at Daytona. RJ Bishop doing the driving duties this week in the Family Dollar-sponsored Dark Horse Mustang out of Bishop Family Racing. Right now, though, 28th on the speed charts for Bishop. So he would be starting towards the rear of the field. Dylan Young, when he drove this car at Daytona, brought it home inside the top 10 in 8th place. There's Eli Bright. He was the other driver involved in that bizarre wreck with Chris Dollarton last week at Manassas. Obviously, with the DNF, Eli Bright dropped in the points from 7th down to 16th place. And he is 19th on the speed charts as things currently stand. So this week, your Cup Series interlopers, Jack Mitchell, Reggie Fogelman, RJ Bishop, and Anthony McCrory. And we'll see if any of them, what they've learned here from qualifying this afternoon, if it will help them in qualifying tomorrow afternoon, as we take a look at what's coming up around the turn, presented by NNSCRA Paint Designs. At 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Las Vegas qualifying for the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers, and then a couple hours later, it'll be the Roll the Dice 120, third race of the season here for these Duracell Ultra Lite Series drivers from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Sunday afternoon, the Cup Series drivers cap off this race weekend in the Full House 150 at 1 p.m. You can take a look at this group of cars right here, and this will give us a little idea of what tomorrow afternoon to expect in terms of side-by-side racing, ability to pass. See which lane is a little bit more preferred. Looks like that outside line really good there through 1 and 2. Roberto Crown Jr. swinging around Anthony McCrory. So going to be multi-groove. More drivers might be going up that second lane. Now Roberto Crown Jr. kind of straddles the seams through 3 and 4 on the inner middle groove. So it looks like there will be quite a bit of opportunity for passing. Question, though, will be how much of it will we see? I don't think we'll see nearly as much as we saw last week at Manassas. Manassas Lights race had 41 lead changes during the course of that 60-lapper. And I think it was like 53 lead changes in the Cup Series side. I don't think we're going to see those kind of numbers here this week, but I think there definitely will be opportunity for passing nonetheless. Now, Dave Smith and the 15 team, they have really put together a good qualifying program this season. Qualified well at Daytona, started up inside of the top 5, was on the outside of the front row last week at Manassas, and with a 28.769. He is going to clock in the fastest lap to capture the pole position here this week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Again, it's going to come down to them translating this qualifying speed into race speed, as he is 19th in the points coming into this one, but very good effort this weekend in terms of qualifying speed will put the Chevrolet on the pole position. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is going to be the first pole for Chevrolet this year. Yeah, Toyota so far has been 2 for 2 in capturing the pole position up to this point. Now the Bowties get themselves a pole as Dave Smith will share the front row with Sean Galligan, our runner-up from Daytona. Nathan Stapleton, coming off a great run last week at Manassas, will share row number 2 with Nathan Fogler. Colin Grace, who was the first car out in the session, will be with his teammate Wes McCoy in row 3. Cody Majoric and Jordan Anderson, a couple of teammates out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, will be in row 4. And your top 10 will be completed by the Toyota of Roberto Crown Jr. and the Mazda of Autumn Brooks. There's a look at your full qualifying results here. Both of the Bishop Family Racing cars are going to be starting at the very back of the pack. Also, our winner from Manassas, Cole Coybe, back in 26th. Skylar Taylor, the points leader, all the way back in 22nd place. So, not optimal qualifying results for our 2 former winners, but we'll see how it will translate tomorrow afternoon into where they end up finishing. Maybe pick up their second wins of the season. But thank you all for tuning in to this qualifying session here from Las Vegas. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. Be sure to hit that bell notification to be notified when these broadcasts go live to stay up to date with everything that takes place here on NNSCRA TV. Congratulations once again to Dave Smith on winning the pole position. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon for Cup qualifying here from Las Vegas. But until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.